Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Your Pleasure Incorporated into Daily Living. Namaste. And today, especially because today we're going to talk about the Kama Sutra. Now, a lot of people do not understand that the Kama Sutra is not just a lot of positions. It was actually written in the 3rd century AD by an ancient holy man. And it was a celebration and an understanding of the divine energy that is exchanged between the male and female in the procreation of life. It is an illustrated educational manual on keeping sex interesting after you have gotten married, because people get married supposedly for life, and if you keep doing the same thing in the same way, it gets boring, it gets predictable, it's no longer fun. You wouldn't want to eat the same meal in the same way for the rest of your life. Well, it's the same kind of thing. Your limbic brain is influencing you and guiding you to want variety. Although a lot of people seek that variety with other lovers, in the Kama Sutra, they're hoping that if you read this book and you understand what it is you are exchanging with another person beyond the physical, that you will want to keep that for that very special person. The Kama Sutra is a veritable parade of a love in which eyes, hands, perfumes, colors, jewels, music, and an assortment of signs convey the fine variations of feelings. So it is not a superficial porn book. It is not a quickie. It is an understanding that there are all kinds of sensations that are affecting how you feel and how you get excited and how you get aroused and how you stay interested and what you want, how you want to respond. It is also said to be the birth of tantric love came from an understanding of the Kama Sutra. And the tantric love is positions which are ways to control our sexual energy for the promotion of sexual fulfillment. So this is a, a study and an art that is thousands of years old. And in today's society, where sexual relations for many people are watching pornography, it has been sexuality and sexual pleasure has been greatly reduced. And people are not enjoying their sex lives, not even 1/10 of what they used to uh, centuries ago, because there's no education, there's no understanding. In fact, sexual pleasure is never discussed. The first time I posted this show that I'm doing here tonight, I had a picture of this couple in a lover's embrace. You couldn't see genitals, you couldn't see nipples, you couldn't see anything. You could just see these two people facing one another, and there was the word sexual pleasure underneath them. Well, YouTube said you can't show that. It's kind of funny that I can't show that to my adult viewing public, but they can bring pornography into schools these days, into libraries, in the children's libraries in schools, and it's perfectly okay for children to read about this. So in that way, I think our world is a little upside down. This video, this show, this whole program is for adults who want their love life to become interesting, exciting, and fun for a lifetime, and are willing to put in the effort to learn control, to learn how to read their partner, to want to produce the wonderful sounds that emanate from your lover when they are in the throes of passion and bliss. So, among some of the things that are listed and discussed in the Kama Sutra, of course, are positions. Over 100 different positions. Now, to be real, most people cannot do most of these positions because you have to be pretty flexible. And unless you are practicing yoga, where you really can bend backwards and over and one leg way up in the air, etc. There's a lot of positions in the Kama Sutra that you can't do. Or maybe that will be the inspiration to want to stay youthful and flexible and able to do all this fun stuff, because you'll want to do these positions for a lifetime. There's one position in the Kama Sutra where the woman is actually upside down, and he's got to hold her up. Well, unless he has some serious upper body strength, that's not going to happen. So there's strength, there's flexibility, and all of these things and control that are necessary for the good times that can be had in the Kama Sutra. Now, they also list a variety of kisses, all kinds of kisses. There's the kiss of the upper lip. There's the kiss of the lower lip. There's like a peck. There's 9 different kinds of kisses listed in the Kama Sutra, and each one of them is for different parts of the body. You might think they're all for the mouth to mouth. Not mouth to mouth. Sometimes it's mouth to genitals. Sometimes it's mouth to nipples. Sometimes it's mouth to mouth. Sometimes it's mouth to eyes, which is also very beautiful, very touching, and impactful as far as your affection for the person that you're with. And then another thing in the Kama Sutra are the bites. Many different kinds of bites. And we're not talking savage bites. We're not talking like you're eating a hamburger, but the bite of the lower lip, the bite of different sensitive areas of the body, whether the bite is with both sets of teeth, with just the lips. There's many different kinds of bites. Now, if you're interested in any of this, the Kama Sutra is still around, even though it was written over 2,000 years ago. You can still find it in many, many good bookstores. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. This is my copy. Actually, I have 3 copies, but this is my copy. And I love this book because not only are the pictures phenomenal, okay, but the understanding that goes with the pictures is phenomenal. Here's one picture. I was telling you where the woman is upside down. Seriously, he's got to hold her up. If he doesn't have strength, there's the one right next to it, right over here. Look at this. She's got to have strength and flexibility. If you don't have the strength and flexibility to do some of these positions, it's just going to be frustrating. But there's a lot of positions that are much more normal than those, and yet still a lot of fun, and still a whole lot different than the standard missionary position that so many people do. They just do the missionary position, or they do doggy style. But again, if you just keep doing the same thing, it really can get pretty dull after a while. So there's a whole chapter on pressing, rubbing, and scratching, because that produces different sensations in the body. The embrace. How many different kinds of embraces are there? You would think there's just, the standard embrace of 2 people putting their arms around each other. Not true. When you can wrap your bodies around each other, that's a completely different kind of embrace. And then there's a whole section that talks about different positions that are best for matching up different body types. So they talk about the different kinds of men, tall men, short men, bigger men, thinner men, men with very long penises, men with medium-sized penis, men with shorter penis, okay? And they talk about the different kinds of women, because not all women are built the same. Not all women have the same length vagina. Not all women have the same flexibility. So if you're matching up different body types, there are best positions for those as well, and they are listed in the Kama Sutra. Another thing I love about the Kama Sutra is, they were so ahead of their time talking about sexual accessories. The love swing came out of the tantric love and out of the Kama Sutra. The original love swing was uncomfortable. It was made out of really uncomfortable fibers, and it actually needed an assistant to help the royalty make love to the lady of his choice, because of just by the way that the love swing was created. But over the centuries, the love swing has been new and improved and is still around, very much around today. Kama Sutra also talks about aphrodisiacs and pheromones. All of the ingredients to make your sex life one of the most satisfying, exciting, gratifying, and fun adventures in your life. And why would you want to do that? Because sex is healing. When you take responsibility for your body, when you love your temple, when you understand that you are a divine creature, and that when you have an orgasm, it is an explosion of your divine light inside of you, then you want to treat yourself to this beauty as often as possible, and you want to share it responsibly with someone who you love, someone that you care about, someone that is important to you. You don't want to use it to exploit. You don't want to use it to manipulate, take advantage of. You want to use it because it is your divine self expressing itself and procreating and making the world a beautiful place because of this gift, which is seriously one of the most beautiful things we have. I've mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. It's discussed in the Kama Sutra. The human body is littered with erogenous zones from the top of our head to the soles of our feet. Every area has sensitivity that, if touched correctly, is exciting and delicious and fun and just wonderful for our surprise and excitement. It just seems that people kind of stick to the standards of breasts and butt and genitals, and yet there's so much more to explore. And it's all discussed in the Kama Sutra. Today's sex has taken a turn because of pornography, which has people doing things very quickly and not showing the audience that there was a whole lot of preparation that took place before that scene was shot. The Kama Sutra is totally opposite of that. It shows that in making love, it takes time. It takes time to be with your lover, to get close to them, to embrace them, to kiss them properly from top to bottom, and to explore with different kinds of touches and bites and nibbles, etc., to produce different kinds of wonderful sensations in the body. I highly recommend it as a book to read, especially for today's generation. Don't get the older version, because the older version will be too complicated for you to understand. The language is written in a kind of a old-fashioned writing. But the newer version says all the exact same things, and it's written in a very clear way, and with lots of pictures. You can find your way to the most phenomenal understanding and appreciation of your budding sex life, the adventure of a lifetime. I hope you have found this conversation fun and interesting. And I hope you join me again next week for another episode of Your Pleasure Incorporated into Daily Living. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to do your Kegel exercises, girls and guys, about 5 minutes a day. And take good care of yourselves. Lots of water, lots of sleep, lots of masturbation. And take your time. Bye for now. See you next week.